What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Phil Collins from the Hits compilation. Thank you as always to Michaela. And we're up to a tune I believe I know in advance, which is to say, Against All Odds. This is the Take a Look at Me Now song, right? So yeah, as I mentioned at the beginning of the Phil Collins deep dive, there's a few songs of his, mostly I think solo stuff, though also a couple tunes from his work in Genesis that I did know going back. And I think I mentioned, I remember my dad listening to one of the Genesis tunes, I believe it's called That's All, and I reacted to, what was it, the live performance of In the Air Tonight, but that's another one that I did know going back many years. But they're not songs that I've heard repeatedly, to the point where I know them front to back, top to bottom. So this is such an example, meaning this song I do remember hearing, and I can hear the melody of that chorus, the Take a Look at Me Now, which has a very sweeping sound to it, including specifically his vocals. And I have this vague sense that maybe it relates to his ex-wife, which maybe I'm just thinking that because of In the Air Tonight, which I've heard is very much connected to what happened between him and his ex-wife. But yes, I do think I've heard this before, but I can't think of the full duration or all the different sonic details of the song. I can mainly just hear that one line in the chorus. So yeah, it'll be nice to reconnect with it, and I'm looking forward to a couple other moments along the Phil journey being like that. Meaning, what's the song like, Studio? I forget exactly how it's spelled or like what the meaning is, but that's another one that I've heard in years past but don't know particularly well and have not heard for some time. So yes, let's give this one a listen. This is Phil Collins, Against All Odds, included on a greatest hits compilation simply known as Hits. And once again, major thank you to Michaela for providing this CD.
How can I just let you walk away? Just let you leave without a trace. When I stand here taking every breath with you. Ooh, you're the only one who really knew me at all. How can you just walk away from me when all I can do is watch you leave? 'Cause we've shared the laughter and the
I remembered, but so much more. First of all, I remembered he had some vocal sweep to the Take a Look at Me Now, but what I was recalling in that regard relative to the vocals we just heard, it's like, thinking of a three-story building and then seeing the Chrysler building, or an 80-story skyscraper or something like that. He really had some power and some fire and some scratch to some of the vocal moments there, like way more than I remembered. And the feeling of the tune certainly comes across in that regard. I do love the piano work. There's some strings in there, maybe string synths. But yeah, really rich composition, and definitely the drums standing out, which again, I know he is famously a talented drummer, or at least used to be. I remember reading something, I don't know, a few years ago, that he can't really drum the way he used to, so now he just has been focusing on vocals and performances of the last decade or so, and doesn't do the, drum playing while also singing that he is perhaps most famous for in terms of his live performances. Nevertheless, the drumming did stand out here. There was a hi-hat rhythm, or maybe a ride cymbal rhythm that I was catching, and then those tom rolls, the bum boom, bum boom, bum boom, which, In the Air Tonight I certainly think of. But yeah, there was a moment here, especially in the latter stages, that really did stand out in that regard, and just a rich feeling. Now, lyrically, it may be different than I was remembering. I was thinking of it as talking to his ex, that maybe I wasn't much before, maybe I wasn't enough for you, but take a look at me now. Not in a taunting or vicious way, but just hey, was this not enough? Am I not enough? But it actually sounds very different from that. It sounds like she left, she walked away, and there is that kind of don't turn around, which inevitably makes me think of Ace of Base. But the idea that he was super sad and he couldn't do anything about it other than watching her go. And now he's saying, there was just this empty space, nothing but a memory of your face to try to hold on to. But wow, that you should be coming back to me now is not something I could have foreseen, but I have to take this chance. So take a look at me now. Am I not enough? But in a sense that maybe they have circled back around and they are thinking of re-engaging with him and maybe finding a connection with him again, and putting that at her feet, that hey, before you kind of left me high and dry, you left me broken, you left me sad, you just walked away, but here I am, and you seem to be finding your way back to me. So, again, am I not enough? Is this not enough? So it feels like part of the sentiment is what I was recalling, but the context of it is actually notably different than I thought. So yeah, it sounds again like he wants to take this chance, even though he knows maybe the outcome isn't guaranteed, and there is this emotional baggage from what happened before. So really cool songwriting, incredible vocals, good composition. I totally understand why this would be a hit, which I say that, number one, because it's on an album or a compilation called Hits. Number two, because it clearly, was on the radio or somehow found its way to my ears decades ago. I don't know exactly when this would have been written, but I'm going to guess maybe 90s. But yes, definitely a tune that found its way to me before, and which I clearly enjoyed and, was in my memory in some context or on some level, even if I wasn't recalling the true power and sweep of it, especially vocally. So, a top tune. Thank you again to Michaela for providing the CD. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.